Back in the day, the NBA All-Star Game wasn't just a show, it was a battlefield. Players didn't jog through possessions or joke around on defense. They played with pride, aggression, and an unshakable will to win. And in 1998, that fire burned brightest in one man, Michael Jordan. The game that night wasn't just East versus West. It was past versus future, the GOAT versus the challengers. And it became the night Jordan showed two of the league's biggest young stars, Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal, who really ran the NBA. Jordan entered that game already a five-time champion, four-time MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and 10-time All-NBA first-team selection. At 34, he wasn't supposed to be dominating anymore. The Bulls dynasty was nearing its end. His teammates were aging, and new stars were rising fast. Kobe, barely 19, and Shaq, the unstoppable force in Los Angeles, who had already eliminated Jordan from the playoffs years earlier. They were the faces of the next generation, ready to take over. But on that February night, Jordan wasn't giving up anything. He had one message for everyone watching. His throne was not for sale. The anticipation was electric. The 1998 All-Star Game wasn't just another exhibition. It was Jordan defending his legacy in real time. Fans were glued to their TVs as the legends of the 90s, Jordan, Malone, Miller, Robinson, clashed with the up-and-coming faces of the NBA, Kobe, Shaq, Duncan, and Kidd. Even before the game began, it felt different. Jordan had been sick leading up to it, and there were doubts he'd even play. But this was Jordan. Excuses weren't in his DNA. When the ball went up, the smiling handshakes disappeared. The first possession set the tone. Jordan hit an impossible fadeaway over Kevin Garnett, a shot that screamed, "I'm still him." Kobe, full of energy and confidence, immediately took it personally. He shadowed Jordan like a young lion testing the king of the jungle. Every possession, every move, Kobe was studying, mimicking, and trying to surpass his idol. You could see it in the way he moved. But Jordan wasn't about to let a rookie steal his show. He locked in, using that same deadly mid-range game that had broken countless defenders before. On one play, he posted Kobe up, pivoted, and dropped that signature fadeaway right in his face. The crowd erupted. Then, on the very next trip down, he did it again. Same move, opposite side, same result. And this time, he drew the foul. It was surgical. Kobe was learning in real time that greatness wasn't just about talent. It was about mastery. And that's what separated Jordan. He didn't just rely on athleticism. He dictated tempo, outthought his opponents, and punished every mistake. While Kobe was trying to prove himself, Jordan was proving a point. Every move, every shot, was a statement that he still owned the league. Even when the cameras caught him in the locker room at halftime, joking about Kobe trying to go one-on-one with everyone, there was a deeper meaning. Jordan respected the hunger, but he was reminding everyone that there's a difference between confidence and control. When he returned in the second half, Jordan was on another level. He drained mid-range jumper after mid-range jumper, found open teammates with perfect timing, and made it look effortless. Kobe, meanwhile, kept attacking, trying to make something happen against a man who had been his hero. It was raw, emotional basketball. A young prodigy refusing to back down and an aging legend refusing to let go. At times, Kobe even managed to score on Jordan, showing glimpses of what he'd eventually become. But every time he did, Jordan answered right back. The old master was teaching a lesson in real time, and the student was taking notes. Even Shaq, dominant and fearless, couldn't shake Jordan's control over the game. When O'Neal used his power to bulldoze through the East's defense, Jordan responded with precision and poise. He didn't try to overpower. He outsmarted. By the fourth quarter, the East had pulled away, and Jordan had quietly stacked up 23 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, and 3 steals. It wasn't the flashiest stat line of his career, but it was one of the most symbolic. He didn't just beat the best young players in the world, he made them respect him. Meanwhile, Kobe finished with 18 points, a strong performance that showed his potential, but also his limits at the time. He had the skills, the confidence, and the ambition, but Jordan had the wisdom, the composure, and the mentality that only experience brings. You could almost see the torch being prepared for the future, but Jordan wasn't ready to pass it yet. The East won the game handily, and Jordan walked away with another All-Star MVP, his third. It was another reminder that even at 34, battling illness, he could still dominate the biggest names in basketball. That season would end with Jordan winning his 6th championship and 5th regular season MVP, capping off a decade of total dominance. And when he retired later that year, it felt like the end of an era. But for Kobe and Shaq, that All-Star game wasn't a loss. It was a blueprint. They had seen what true greatness looked like up close. They understood what it took to win, not just games, but respect. And over the next few years, they'd apply those lessons to build their own dynasty. By 2000, Kobe and Shaq had become unstoppable together. Their chemistry was lethal, Kobe's fire and skill perfectly complementing Shaq's unmatched power. They tore through the league, winning 3 straight championships and defining a new era of dominance. But even as they rose to the top, that image of Jordan's calm control in 1998 lingered. Because that night wasn't just about points or highlights. It was about a message. Jordan showed them what leadership, discipline, and killer instinct truly meant. And for Kobe especially, that game changed everything. Years later, he'd talk about how much he learned just by being on the same court as Jordan. The way MJ moved, talked, competed, it all stuck with him. That famous fadeaway Kobe perfected? It started that night. That mindset that refused to accept failure? It was reinforced that night. For Kobe, the 1998 All-Star Game was more than a competition. It was a masterclass in greatness. But make no mistake, Jordan didn't make it easy for him. He never handed Kobe anything. Every shot, every possession, every glare across the court was a challenge. When Kobe hit a tough jumper, Jordan responded with a better one. When Kobe tried to attack, Jordan anticipated every move. It was like watching the past and future of basketball collide in one unforgettable duel. And through it all, the fans witnessed something legendary. The passing of knowledge, not the crown. Because Jordan never gave that crown away. He made Kobe earn it. And that's exactly what made Kobe's eventual success so meaningful. He didn't inherit greatness. He studied it, worked for it, and built it piece by piece. That's what made the parallels between them so powerful. The same drive, the same obsession, the same unwillingness to lose. It all started with that spark on the All-Star floor in New York. By the time the final buzzer sounded, Jordan had reminded the world that even as the next generation was coming, the GOAT still ruled. He had outplayed the future while cementing his own legacy one last time in a Bulls uniform. The image of a young Kobe, drenched in sweat, watching Jordan celebrate his MVP, said it all. It wasn't defeat, it was motivation. In the years that followed, every time Kobe hit a fadeaway over a defender, every time he stared down an opponent with that cold, focused intensity, you could see traces of that night. Jordan had shown him the blueprint and Kobe followed it to perfection. It wasn't just basketball, it was mentorship through competition. That's why the 1998 All-Star Game remains one of the most iconic in history. It wasn't just about who scored more or who won the trophy. It was a moment of passing wisdom from one generation to the next. Jordan reminded everyone watching, greatness isn't just about talent. It's about mindset, mastery, and the will to dominate even when time tries to take it away. And for Kobe and Shaq, it was the ultimate lesson. That night, the old guard stood tall against the rising empire. Jordan looked the young stars in the eyes and proved that greatness doesn't fade. It evolves. And while he eventually stepped aside, his influence never disappeared. Kobe carried it. Shaq respected it. The entire NBA learned from it. Because that night, under the bright lights of Madison Square Garden, Michael Jordan didn't just show Kobe and Shaq who was the boss. He showed the entire world why he would forever be the standard every player would chase. And long after that night, the echoes of that battle still resonated across generations. Every young player who came after, from LeBron James to Kevin Durant, studied that game, seeing how Jordan's composure and dominance transcended time. It wasn't about athleticism anymore. It was about basketball IQ, the mental edge that separated legends from stars. When Jordan faced Kobe and Shaq, he wasn't just playing to win a game. He was protecting a legacy that defined what greatness truly meant. The look in his eyes said it all. Respect the throne, because it was built on sweat, sacrifice, and decades of unmatched excellence. In the years that followed, whenever Kobe reflected on his journey, he often mentioned how that night taught him more than any coach or playbook ever could. Watching Jordan move, listening to him talk trash with calm confidence, and feeling that competitive fire up close, it changed the way he approached the game. Kobe didn't just copy Jordan's moves. He absorbed his mentality, his patience, his control. Every championship Kobe won afterward was, in some way, an extension of that 1998 lesson. That greatness isn't given. It's earned through relentless work and unwavering belief. Even today, fans look back at that all-star game not just as a clash of eras, but as a passing of the torch done the hard way, through challenge, respect, and pure competition. It was the perfect snapshot of what made the NBA so special. Legends teaching future icons not with words, but with performance. Jordan walked off that court as the undisputed king, and Kobe walked away inspired to one day build a kingdom of his own. And that's what made that night timeless. A living reminder that greatness doesn't fade, it evolves through those bold enough to chase it.